Hi everyone, welcome back to rebuilding a kick-ass life after divorce. But it doesn't have to be after divorce. It can just be after a breakup or just rebuilding a kick-ass life after anything. Maybe you've lost your job. Anything that you just feel like you need inspiration, motivation, encouragement, even empowered. I've been wanting to make this video for a really long time. I was writing down a bunch of notes and then I thought, no, I'm not a write down kind of notes and read my notes kind of person. Every single video I've done on here has been unscripted and I've just been speaking from the heart. So why should this one be any different? I've been going through just sort of a transition in my life. And what I mean by that is just really reevaluating a lot. For those of you that don't know, I have been for the last few months dealing with ailing parents, one who's in the hospital still and probably will not be going back home. And then my mom, who is the primary caregiver. And, when things like that happen, I also have another family member who is terminally ill and she's young and she has 3 kids. And so things like that force you to put life into perspective and to sort of reevaluate everything. So for those of you that don't know, after my second divorce, I left a very financially privileged marriage and I basically had to start all over. I left that marriage at 50 with no job, no income, and I had to really figure it out. And it was scary at 50 because, who's going to hire a 50-year-old and what am I going to do? I had been out of the workforce for, I think, a little over 10 years. And so I basically had to start over. And I was living a life where I call that life, although people would think that was my kick-ass life, right? Because it was brand name everything. It was designer, luxury. It was luxury cars and multiple vacation properties and just designer brand clothes. And it was never me. My happy place where I have always felt the most like myself and the place that I always gravitated to, even when I was in that financially privileged marriage. I mean, that was the only thing that was privileged about it. Trust me, if you've read my book, Rising Up, Take Charge, Break the Cycle, and Rebuild a Kick-Ass Life, that's my book. If you've read my book, and I know a lot of you on here have, you will know that I had everything and I had nothing that really mattered, nothing that was fulfilling, nothing that filled me up, nothing that was truly of importance in a relationship. And so I never felt whole or complete or safe or settled or secure. And it wasn't until after I left that marriage that I sort of went back to my old way, to my grassroots. And my grassroots and my happy place is Portugal. I'm actually wearing my grandmother's scarf today. She didn't wear it like this. My grandmother wore it where she would tie it under here. And when I was in Portugal a few years ago, I found a lot of her scarves and I brought them all back. And I came from a little village in Portugal where it was very primitive, and to this day it still is extremely primitive, and to this day it is still my favorite place on earth to go and visit. And I am talking, I was 7 years old when my parents moved us to Canada. And so for the first 7 years of my life, I was in a house with no running water and no electricity, no bathroom. And it was very primitive, very poor. They were farmers. And yet to this very day, it's where I gravitate to. When I go back to Portugal, and, a lot of people that visit Portugal are going to the Algarve, which is in the south of Portugal, to the beaches and to where it's touristy, and to, or to Lisbon, which is the capital, Lisboa, the city center, which is beautiful, and so is Porto, gorgeous. But when I go, I want to go right back to that little village in the north of Portugal where my grandfather's house still exists. My grandparents have passed, but they left the house, both homes, both sides. The house is still there, built in the 1800s. And I want to be back in that village with the chickens and the horses, and not the horses, sorry, the chickens and the donkeys and the pigs are like in the courtyard, in the front yard, and the cows are, you know, you can see people take the cows out to pasture. And when I hear that rooster crowing in the morning, and when I hear those cowbells in the morning, I swear to God, and when I hear the bells on the sheep that are also going out to pasture, I literally leap out of bed, I swing open the shutters, and I just take it all in. I could get emotional talking about it, and so I've made a decision that I am moving back to Portugal. I am moving back there just for even 6 months out of the year. I don't want to lose my Canadian residency, but I just thought, if and when my dad passes, and it's pretty much imminent, I want to take my mom back there. I probably will not be doing this until I'd like to be, I mean, God, I don't know. I'd like to sell my house here, maybe when I'm 60, so I'm 58. I will be 58 in a couple of months. I like to sell my house here, move back to Portugal for even 6 months out of the year. The cost of living there is a lot less expensive than it is here in Canada. And I'd like to be able to take my mother, I'm sorry if this is distracting. I just noticed on my screen the sun, or, God, sorry guys. It's annoying. I don't know how to fix that. Anyway, just ignore this from, if you can. Ugh, God, I don't want to have to retape this. But I just want to be able to take my mom there. She's got friends and family, and I want her to be able to enjoy the last few years of freedom, because she has had one hell of a tough life with my dad, which I've talked about in other videos. And I just have come to the point where I'm done. I am tired of, I just have reevaluated everything, friendships, lifestyle. I want to live a life that is authentic, that is real, that brings me happiness, that brings me joy, that brings me peace. And I find I am that person when I am back in that little village in Portugal with no luxuries, you guys. My grandfather's house, we now have electricity and a bathroom, but the water trickles in for a shower, like barely, and it needs serious updating, but I don't even care. I just want to be there. I want to live life more simplistically. I want to wake up in the morning and be in nature. And I want to, I think that here in North America, so many people, I feel like we're just all chasing the almighty dollar, and so many people work so hard to accumulate things to impress people that they don't even like. And I had to take a real deep look, and I really believe that it was almost like divine intervention, or that I was meant to go through that really tumultuous, unhealthy, toxic marriage that was very financially privileged, to really figure out what it is that makes me happy and what it is that is truly meaningful. And that it was my purpose now to help inspire and motivate and encourage others to do the same thing, to really look at your life and look at what it is that is fulfilling, what it is that is meaningful, what it is that fills you up, what it is that makes you feel good. And for me, it's no longer driving the BMW and the Mercedes and having name brand everything, because I had all that and it meant nothing. I was never, ever, ever truly happy at my core. And now that I have been on my own and I don't live in the house that I used to have before, and I don't have all those vacation properties, and I still have the only thing I have left is my Mercedes, which I'm going to drive it to the ground, and once that's gone, I'm not getting another luxury car. But my point is that I had all those things that society says you need in order to be happy, and I was not happy, and I was completely unfulfilled. And so for me, making this decision to go back to my roots and go back to a real simplistic life, even if it is only half of the year, because I still have children here that I don't want to be gone forever, and I don't want to lose my Canadian residency. So I have decided that by the time I'm 60, my goal, my plan, my desire is to be living, going back to where I was born, to a very simplistic, simple life, and to be there at least 6 months out of the year. I am going to do everything I can to make sure that that happens. I mean, you never know, right? You never know. I mean, that's the plan today. But sometimes there's a wrench and life throws stuff at you that you just is beyond your control. But I've just decided that even if that doesn't happen, and that is what I want to happen, I'm still going to really start to evaluate my life, and evaluate my life to a point where I want everything to make sense. I want to be living authentically. I want to be living in the moment. For those of you that haven't seen my video on The Awakening, how that poem changed my life years ago, and it was right at the beginning of my divorce. I want to be more awakened. And I know I'm sounding like so ooh right now, but I just find that at this age, the older you get and you see your parents, you know, their life is coming to an end. And like I said, my dad is literally on his last, anyway, I don't want to talk about that. But I just feel like it helps you put things in perspective. And I know for a fact, money, material possessions, things, lots of stuff does not make you happy. In fact, what I did right after ending my marriage, I got rid of everything. I got rid of all luxury brand items, Prada, Hermes, Gucci, Louis Vuitton. It was just weighing me down. I got rid of everything and I started fresh and with less. So I have a lot less now and I'm at peace. And that is my goal in life, to feel fulfilled, to be authentic, to be living my life with joy, and to be at peace. And for those of you that think that money is going to make you happy, that stuff is going to make you happy, that jetting off here and there and everywhere's going to make you happy, it is not. It means nothing if you don't have what truly matters in life. And what truly matters in life is freedom, peace, the freedom to be yourself, the freedom to live life on your own terms, the freedom to live your life authentically, having a peaceful, happy home. Those are the things that make you happy. Having meaningful relationships, meaningful ones, not superficial relationships, not superficial friendships, but deep, meaningful connections. And sometimes you have to, there's an old saying that says that evolving involves eliminating. And sometimes you have to eliminate, unfortunately. Sometimes it's even family members that are toxic. Sometimes it's friendships that are toxic. We are all responsible for the energy that we bring into our lives. We are responsible for that. No one else is. And so if there's people in your life that don't respect your boundaries and don't respect your space and the energy that they bring to you, then you have to take it upon yourself to protect your space, protect your peace. You're responsible for the energy that comes around you. And so evolving, awakening, comes with eliminating, unfortunately, or fortunately. And so that's what I wanted to say to all of you today, especially those of you that I know might be going through a breakup, and I've seen a lot of comments, or might be going through a divorce and you're really scared financially, and I get it, I was there, I know, or you're having a hard time parting with or letting go of material possessions. Well, those material possessions mean nothing if there's a cost associated to having them. And sometimes what is the cost of being in that relationship where your soul is slowly dying, but you have all these things, and the things mean nothing. I'm going to cut this video off right now only because that is driving me crazy, the light there. But I just hope that it's giving you something to think about. That is my goal. I, in the next 2 years, want to be living in Portugal, and I will be documenting all of it. I just know that it feeds my soul, and living a simplistic lifestyle is so much more meaningful to me than what I had for all those years of, like I said, multiple vacation properties and just so much stuff that bogs you down. So sad. But I'm not going to say that it was wasted time. It was a time that I think I needed in order for me to get here, to reevaluate, and to be living life with purpose, and now to be helping so many of you see the light, literally, like see the light. We only have one shot at this, you guys, one freaking shot. And I'm gonna live out the rest of my days feeling fulfilled and surrounding myself with like-minded people that are there that we're there collectively to build each other up and enrich our lives together. I gotta go now because it's driving me crazy. Okay, hope that helps. And I'll see you again soon here on Rebuilding a Kick-Ass Life. Bye, guys.